Hi, Leo. This is your reading for the week of January 5th, 2026, or whenever you hear this and it resonates. And again, sun, moon, rising, prominent placement in your chart, if it resonates. Now, I always work asking Spirit to offer up whatever it is they think is going to be the most important to a particular section of a collective. And what I get with you is this. I get a sense of just wanting to take you like this and go, okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I feel as though some of you are in a real state of struggle as I'm looking at the cards here. And as I tune into what that means, what that feels like is there is resistance to a situation. Now, what this card says, which might be relevant, we'll see, is that sometimes when you can walk away from something that you are in a state of struggle with, the need to solve it kind of dissipates. That sometimes it's by staying focused on the struggle of a situation that we actually tend to perpetuate it. Why is that? Well, because when we're in a state of struggle, we're not in flow. When we're not in flow, we're not receiving a lot of intuitions, and we're not receiving a lot of support from the universe. It's not that it's not there, but we're not open to hearing it or seeing it. Now, the thing about struggle is, if we are hanging on to an attitude, a vision, a perception of something that is causing us to be in resistance in our mind, how can we get out of that? Well, we can get out of that by choosing to look at it deliberately with a new lens. But if that proves almost impossible to us, if we keep returning back to that state of agitation, frustration, wanting things to be different than what they are, and that's the phrase I just heard, then when we are in resistance, wanting something to be other than what it is, we are going to be constantly creating that agitation in our nervous system. And the agitation in our nervous system is going to be what keeps us anchored to our personality. What's the value in identifying that? The value in identifying that is, if we are still stuck with it, chances are there is something there for us to let go of. And what does that mean? It means there's a healing to take place for us, because usually we hang on to things when we have not healed what the core issue is around it. So Leos, we know that you have got great strength when it comes to taking care of situations, when it comes to managing, when it comes to being supportive in a way that is not just based on wanting to take care of people because that's what your heart says. It's also wanting to take care of people because it creates a structure that you feel confident in, that you feel safe in. The thing is, when people enter into that structure, or people who are in that structure evolve into a different state, now it becomes discombobulated. You're no longer in flow with that state because you can't maintain it the way you are comfortable in it. You can't maintain it by regulating other people. Can you use this as an opportunity, Leo, to look back over what it is that is really, really bothering you about this? What does this situation bring up for you in terms of who you believe yourself to be, the image that was imposed upon you, the roles that you took on because you thought that was the way you were going to get acceptance, or you were going to finally feel safe and secure? It can be a whole bunch of different things. The point is, Leo, when you are working, you're being told, these cards just like, boom, they absolutely insisted on coming out. Kindness, grace, compassion, all of this is saying, can you move into looking at whatever is going on from a higher place? From a higher place. What does that mean? Grace, compassion, kindness. Doesn't mean you get to be a doormat. What it means is you are now using higher frequency emotions, deliberate, intentional emotions. Compassion, being curious rather than judgmental about what's going on with the other people or person, and also what's going on with you. because this most importantly is compassion with you, because compassion and kindness with you allows you to be reflective about what's going on for you. Many of you have not really wanted to look at what's going on underneath for you and about you. You just want the situation to regulate itself so you don't have to look at your stuff. Leo, we want you to look at your stuff because you're powerful, wonderful, warm-hearted humans. And when you are working in a state of flow, you not only get to be able to be good for other people around you, you get to be good for you. This is really a time for you, Leo, to be able to look at this and say, how do I satisfy myself? Okay, I'm just getting something coming in here. I'm being reminded of Morita therapy. Morita therapy is the kind of therapy that was based on the idea of everything that we are doing, even if it's not working for us now, it started out as having a good intention. Keeping us safe, keeping us fed, well, that's kind of safe too, but it has a good intention about us and keeping us safe. It just means now that if we're in a state of struggle and things aren't working for us anymore, that what we are doing is we're being called to identify what the need was and find a healthier way to be able to take care of that. So if, for example, say I stopped dating because I didn't want to be hurt. Well, what was I worried about? Where was the fear of hurt coming from? Oh, that I would be taken advantage of. Well, how would that happen? Well, that would happen by me not being assertive or being too compliant or not having boundaries. Okay, well then how can I date and still take care of myself and be safe? By setting better boundaries, by noticing, there's a whole different set of things that I could do to satisfy that need to keep safe and still be able to date, as opposed to avoid dating in order to stay safe. So that's just a really, really simple example. And what you're being told here is sometimes, and this goes for any sign, not just Leo, but sometimes when we feel as though we know the way it should be, the way we know it would work better, we can, without intending to, especially if it's defending something that's painful, if we're hiding from something that's painful in us, it's almost looking at the situation with a little bit of superiority, going, well, if only they would, and if I can just explain it to them, and if, but the reality is, my dear Leos, this isn't about if I could get them, if they would understand. Sometimes what we have to understand is it's not about being superior to somebody, it's about being different. And that's where the compassion comes in. The compassion is about being curious as opposed to being judgmental and critical. Okay? Now, the grace card, I think, is absolutely super important for you right now, Leo. Grace has a smooth, easy, peaceful, and supportive quality. It flows naturally into us and through us. It's an experience of letting the benevolent universe take us through our movements and guide us with a loving hand. Notice the feeling quality of this description and return to it today. Every time you're about to do or think about anything, or at any point in the day when you find yourself feeling stressed and thinking too much, return to grace, okay? That's going to help you move out of resistance, moving into compassion, getting curious as opposed to judging it. That helps you get out of struggle. It allows you to just go, oh, all right. What if nobody's better than anybody else here? What if this is just all about me seeing these things come up so that I can address them in a way that liberates me, that makes my life happier? This isn't about having to stay in this situation in a state of struggle. This is about clearing what I need to clear in order to be able to let myself out of this resistance to the way things are. And it might be seeing myself differently. It might be seeing somebody else differently. It might mean walking away from something. We don't know, Leo. But what we do know is you have wonderful, wonderful, strong, powerful energy. And when your ego is centered and aligned with that heart, and when you are in flow, you are dynamic beyond belief. So I'm going to leave you with that, Leo, because I really feel like for many of you, this is the time when you get to clear what you need to clear. You get to clear decks so that you can direct your ship in a direction that is really genuinely about you enjoying yourself, about you being in situations where your need to control as a part of your function is honored and respected. Okay? We're going to leave you with this, Leo, with much love and great, great good wishes for 2026. Take care, my loves.